What's up, dog?
Not much. I'm excited today as I wrapped up work. Actually have sports back to watch tonight, so I have something to look forward to this evening as I'm traveling.
Yeah, where you at? I saw the hotel when I logged in.
Well, we're in El Paso, Texas, so
All right.
and then yesterday I spent the day and then the night in New Mexico. So officially at 90% of the way through the states at about 45, I think.
First time in New Mexico?
First time I was in the airport once, but I don't count that. You got to get or do something. So I had the work meeting.
Albuquerque or was that Santa Fe?
What?
Was the airport Albuquerque or Santa Fe?
The airport was Albuquerque way back when.
Gotcha. What'd you do? You just there for work? Have you done anything fun?
Yeah, nothing much. I was down in some place called Las Cruces, New Mexico. There was not a whole lot going on.
Isn't that the closest? This could be wrong. Isn't that the closest town to where the bomb stuff was? The Oppenheimer shit?
Potentially. I don't know.
I don't know why that name rings a bell.
Santa Teresa is the one right on the border of Texas. That one's pretty close to El Paso here, but Las Cruces.
Los Alamos.
Okay, yeah, Las Cruces.
Close.
There wasn't a whole lot. New Mexico's real flat and real just dry. There ain't a whole lot of grass here. That's for sure.
So however, go ahead.
However, the rental car, I got a brand new Audi sedan, so that thing was fun. Like the road, I was cruising at 110 pretty easily, so it was fun to drive.
I saw the Snapchat. And then I saw the subsequent speedometer Snapchat. But look, we got a lot to get into, and you kind of tipped me off on the first thing I wanted to talk about because you said sports are back. You know what else is back?
Let's hear it.
The snack wrap, July 10th, I believe. The snack wrap is back July 10th.
Okay, I've been Googling that once a month. Hey, is it back yet? And it's like sometime in July.
July 10th. Here's my issue. And I'm not here to be the fun police. I'm not here to rain on people's parade. Have you had the new McCrispy strips from McDonald's?
Yeah.
So I'm willing to give them another shot. But I got them I want to say last weekend, 2 weekends ago maybe. Shockingly bad. These were not the chicken selects of my childhood. These were not what I was looking for. The chili sauce is okay. It's basically just chili and like mayonnaise, which is fine. But I need the tangy honey mustard. I need that back. And I need the chicken selects. I need the thick bread, like the thick breading that like if you've cut the top of your mouth for whatever reason, it hurts to chew into it. That's what I need. The chicken, the McCrispies I got, which McCrispy is just a bad name. Also, the chicken selects, unbelievable name. The McCrispy strips I got were just bad. There's no other way to put it. It was just bad. So I'll give them another shot, but.
So you're going to hate this take. I'm not a chicken nugget. I'm not a chicken strip guy. So I'm the last person to argue with you. I don't think I ever had chicken strips from McDonald's growing up. I didn't have McNuggets until I was well into my teens.
So this could be an age gap thing because the chicken selects weren't around for very long, but there was definitely my childhood, and they were bomb. They were so good. But you're not. I get the chicken nuggets thing. You're not a Tendies guy.
No, so like I would always just go with like burger. Like if I'm going to Wendy's, it was always like I got the chicken sandwich from Wendy's, but like it was always burger. It was always McDonald's burger.
Okay, I can respect that, but like take fast food out of it. You're not like. You wouldn't go to like a bar or brewery and just get some chicken tendies while you're watching sports, eating some or drinking some beer?
Almost never. I love chicken wings. Chicken wings.
Chicken wings are elite. That's no question.
Chicken wings are. If I'm at like an arena, I would go chicken strips. If I'm at an arena, you can see me going. Probably not anymore though. Probably not anymore. Just because I want to try the cooler things on the menu that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
However, I will say this. I've been at some bars in Dallas lately, and like girls I've been with have just been ordering chicken strips. And then I'm drunk, and if like food's in front of me, I'm like, dude, those are fucking good, man. Yeah. Those are real good. I haven't ordered them myself yet. So I think it's one of those things where like they just don't sound that good to me in the mindset, but I do generally like them a lot. It's just a problem of they're not in front of me, so I'm not gonna eat them.
Dude, next time you're in Charlotte, I got to take you to a Tavern on the Tracks for chicken tendies. I know you've been to Tavern, but they have the best chicken tenders in Charlotte, in my opinion.
Okay. See, hey, I'm always down. Like, it's not I'm an anti-chicken tenders guy. It just, I don't have them. I always order somebody else.
Tavern will even do Tavern will do the tossed chicken tenders. So it's basically a chicken. It's a boneless chicken wing in a way that I can make it make sense. Because a boneless wing in today's world is just a chicken nugget, and it pisses me off they don't call it a chicken nugget. But a chicken tender, like a big long finger that you then toss in some sauce, doesn't get better.
So I will say, I have gotten them recently, and I've seen people do this, and I altered it to do it with my Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Is I took the bag they give it to you in, and I put my sandwich, or I take my sandwich out off the sandwich. You dump out like a dipping sauce or two. Yeah, and you put the chicken sandwich back in, shake it back up. Elite play.
A covered chicken, so you're basically getting a tossed chicken sandwich.
Correct, and you put it back in your sandwich. Little messy, but it works. And I have seen people do it with the nuggets and the tender as well. So same concept.
Makes sense. The nuggets make sense. Do you just saying you've seen the girls get them? I took a prospect, big group, like real big company. I took the HR team out to dinner at California Dreamin'. So like regional-ish chain, but pretty solid food. Like if you're a freshman in college, you would ask your parents to take you there for parents' weekend. But like at 30 and 27, like it's not that fancy. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But this girl on a business dinner looks at the waitress and goes, "Can I get the chicken tenders from the kids menu, but like as an adult meal?" Everyone else is getting like a salad or like a steak or like something nice. And she's like, "Yeah, can I just get like an adult sized chicken tender?" Like girls love chicken tenders. No, I mean everyone loves chicken tenders, but
and here's the thing on that. I'm gonna respect that just as a man and as an individual who's 28. Sorry to correct you, but
yeah, you're old.
Also, I hate odd numbers, so I'm glad I got through that year.
Okay, good. You're Sean Alexander year.
I can't go to a business dinner and not get a cool meal. Like I'm not getting something. I'm not getting something weird. You gotta order strong, even if there's something on that menu. It's like, dude, that sounds really good. You gotta order a business appropriate meal.
Yeah,
like as an adult,
like I love chicken wings. I'm not ordering chicken wings for a dinner meal. I'm not ordering a burrito. Tacos, sure, that's fair if it's a lunch, not a dinner. But yeah, dinner. A business dinner is a fork and a knife dinner.
And also you can't be getting a shit ton of adjustments to your meal either.
No.
You're getting it as it's ordered. Like if you want to remove, like I'll allow like one removal of something. Other than that, we're starting to get into a dangerous zone.
I'll give you two modifications if one is allergy related.
Yes, yeah. That's almost like a legal thing.
Yeah, they have to serve you food that won't get. Dude, holy shit! Wait, so. I was in Philly the last 2 days, like we were talking. First day back in Charlotte in the office. Our interns started on Monday. We have this kid. I won't say his name. He won't listen to the show. But we have a lunch and learn today. It's good food. It's like mashed potatoes, like barbecue chicken, salad, and roasted vegetables. And I see him walk in, and he's got a sandwich, this sad-looking sandwich in his own like Walmart bag of lunch. He's eating a sunflower seed or sunflower oil butter. It's like basically almond butter, but with sunflower seeds. It was a PB&J, but instead of peanut butter, it was sunflower and butter. In a bag of like these weird chips. I'm like, "You don't want the food?" He goes, "No, I'm allergic." And I look, and it's chicken, mashed potatoes, vegetable. It's like it's a spread. I'm like, "What are you allergic to?" He goes, like 9 things. And kid is allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, fish, soy, green peas, which was strange to me. But this poor kid, there's nothing he can eat. Nothing. I've never met anybody. He's like one allergy away from being in a bubble.
Yeah. So here's the thing on that. I feel awful for the kid because I'm immediately kind of assuming he's lame. And it has nothing to do with him.
First day I met him. So
it has nothing to do with him. It's just most allergy kids tend to be pretty lame. Like,
I mean, but think about it. They're probably pissed off at all the things.
No, listen. It's not their fault. Like, I'm not putting the blame on them.
Yeah, right.
It rubs me the wrong way, and I'm not. And it's not completely anything they can do to help themselves. Like, it just.
Oh,
Like, I don't want to worry about my peanut butter getting on you at the lunch table, like that's not going to be my issue.
Well, dude, he was telling me, he was telling me, like, yeah, I get new allergies like each year. He goes, 2 years ago, it used to just be a shellfish allergy. And 2 years ago, I was just eating tuna salad, like, or not tuna salad because he's allergic to dairy too. So maybe it was just tuna. And he's like, and I stood up and I said, Mom, I think I need to go to the doctor. She goes, why? She goes, I can't breathe anymore. He said he's so in tune or so used to like these food allergy reactions that he's the calmest dying person you'll ever meet, which made me kind of want to like give him a peanut.
Yeah, no, here's the thing on those people too. They're just like, they don't touch other people's food. They won't be trying to do stuff like that's not happening. It's like, yo, hey, you want a bite of this? No, dude.
Yeah. So I think he said he can drink ciders and most beers, but he's never had a cocktail because he doesn't know what mix they might put in it by accident. Which is smart, but like
I'd be dead too quick. It just wouldn't work for me. But hey, on that note, I know you mentioned some cheesesteaks in Philadelphia, and there's one cheesesteak in Philadelphia. I don't think you got to it, and I'm still dying to try it. But what cheesesteaks did you get into this past week?
Yeah, so I've had cheesesteaks before. I've been to Philly a time or two. Neither of the cheesesteaks I had I would qualify as my best cheesesteak or my favorite cheesesteak. So the place you're talking about, Alessandro's, right?
Oh no, Angelo's. Angelo's is a crazy one. And I haven't been. That's the big dog on campus.
I tried to go on Monday night, but they close at 7, which tells me one thing: they're a phenomenal cheesesteak. If you can close at 7 with a food that's you predominantly we call a drunk food or like a late night food, I think in my head, I love a Philly cheesesteak. I'm not trying to slander. But if you close,
I would argue outside of Philly, it is.
Yeah. But I mean, if you close at 7, like you must have a good cheesesteak if you can get your bread before. I mean, I feel like 9 is the standard time because I've made a specific point to leave this place at 8 to go get a cheesesteak. So we ended up going to this place called Taste. It was very much late night vibes. It was kind of cool. There's a couple tables, small restaurant, giant like big fryer in the back, and then like there's probably 20 seats inside, and 15 of them were bar stools around this big. It looked like a bar, but in the back where fridges would be, it was just a giant like griddle. They did something that I really really liked. They obviously cook up the meat on the griddle, or not a black top, but I guess it's like you call it a griddle, I think. He's doing the chopping. It's all looking good. Then he puts 2 slices of provolone, like the triangle provolone on top. I was like, okay, this is bullshit. I need the whiz. If I need a traditional cheesesteak, I need the whiz. He hits it with the water, puts the cloche, the lid thing on top, so it steams up. And then after the cheese is melted from the steam, he chops it up again, so it's all mixed around. Puts it on the bread, but then he opens the bread and puts the bread face down onto the sandwich directly on, and then hits the spatula underneath, flips it over. Beautiful move, and then just the biggest ladle of the whiz on top. Late night spot, so I can't judge it against like other spots, but very good cheesesteak. I was sitting next to some locals. We were chopping it up about just their other favorite cheesesteaks in town. We were looking around before we found this place, and I'm with some people from the conference that I was at. And this guy comes up and goes, I lived in Philly my whole life. The best cheesesteak you can get is Geno's, which the one thing I've heard from people from Philly is the only people that think Pat's or Geno's is the best cheesesteak are people not from Philly. So immediately my flags are going up. But yeah, we go to this place called Taste. Great cheesesteak. I did get Geno's for lunch the next day just to check the box. Significantly worse than the one at Taste. Significantly worse. So my personal favorite still I think I've ever had is Tony Luke's. I know that's also a chain, but I got it when I was like 12. It was the first cheesesteak I had in Philly, so I think there's probably sentimental value to that. I had people tell me Skinny Jim's in South Philly. Skinny Jim's in South Philly would be the next one to try, but yeah, my favorite one I've still ever had is Tony Luke's. Taste was a good cheesesteak though.
So I've heard the same thing about Pat's and Geno's. That's where I went the first time Philly. I feel like that's a box checker.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Especially if you do like half from Pat's, half from Geno's, and then split them. And then that way, whoever you're with, you can try both and not be full.
Yep. And then, so on your point, I think that's the perfect way to make the cheesesteak. However, I will the way you described it taste. It's like you got to put the cheese in there, mix it in, and you go cheese with onions. I have to have onions in there. And then cheesesteaks are much like pizza. If you're doing it right, you don't need anything more than cheese, onions, meat.
Yeah, I would agree. I add mushrooms sometimes because I like mushrooms.
Yeah, that's fine. And, like peppers are kind of allowed, but not real. Like, the best ones, again, you got to be simplified. It's kind of like you could add pepperoni to the best pizza. I'm not going to get mad at you for it. However,
you get 2 ingredients.
Yeah. I'm not a big whiz guy.
See, I only like it really in a cheesesteak because it feels like a traditional cheesesteak.
So, I do like it as well. But for example, my favorite place that I've ever been is called John's Roast Pork. Okay. Unbelievable. They had their day in the sun. They were the Angelos for a while where that was what everyone talked about.
Is that weird?
What?
Is it a pork Philly though?
No. So it's just called John's Roast Pork is the name of the place. Gotcha. They do have an incredible roast pork sandwich. So it's similar to what I did Pat's and Gino's. I got a roast pork. The other person got the cheesesteak, and then you just go half and half.
Gotcha.
But the new thing now is a lot of places are doing the Cooper sharp cheddar is the cheese of the thing. They're almost making a sauce out of that too.
Okay.
That's what Angelo's is doing. But I got to get out and try Angelo's while it's hip. But I'm always down for a good cheesesteak. A good cheesesteak, it just hits right.
Yeah. So I was telling you I had a story from this conference, and this feels like the perfect time to tell it. So me and a mentor were going out. He's met up with these 2 people, this girl and a guy, both from Fort Collins, the Fort Collins office of whatever. And so we're all hanging out. We're having a drink. We're shooting the shit, whatever. We get back to the hotel. And we're hanging out at the hotel bar and just talking. This dude, he's noticeably getting drunker and drunker. He started out pretty even keel, and then he's just getting drunker and drunker.
Is this a person you're with?
I'm with him, but I've just met him. And I met him on the walk to find cheesesteak. So I've only known him for at this point 90 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Dude's probably 50, late 40s, early 50s. And we start talking about basketball. Obviously the playoffs. We'll get to that here a little bit later in the show, but. He's just Nikola Jokic is the second best player of all time behind Michael Jordan. And I'm like, okay, you have some hot takes in basketball. I'm interested. That's crazy, but I'm interested. Let's enter this conversation. So we go on, we're talking. I give him my top 10. He gives me mine. He's a LeBron hater. And as a LeBron lover, I naturally knew he was full of shit. I already kind of knew he was full of shit when he said Jokic is the second best player of all time. We did, however, start talking about, okay, I think people need to start having an uncomfortable conversation about Jokic being in the top 10 of all-time players, which I think we've covered on a show very briefly at least. And then he proceeds to get up at a little bit angry now. He's like, Jokic is the best center of all time too. And I'm like, okay, there's this guy on NBA on TNT. He's 7'3". You can't miss him. His name's Shaquille O'Neal. He still exists. He's like, Jokic is way better offensively. I say, okay, that's fine. You're wrong, though. By the way, there's also Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell still. Just throwing those out there. This guy proceeds to get in my face and say, you don't fucking know me. You don't know who I am. I will whoop your ass right now. Jokic is the second best player of all time and the best center. And I said, Shaquille O'Neal is better, and I'm 20 years younger than you. I'll wear you out. Which in hindsight, I was just I thought we were still ribbing. I should have known he was drunker than he was. He was aggressive. I should have known. But I'm a natural.
You're drunk. That kind of goes over your head.
Yeah, we're talking shit. We're it's just basketball, but he's now engaging. But I said, I will wear you out. And he goes, let's fucking go outside right now. And this is when I realized he's serious. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, we're at a work conference, dude. I don't know you. You don't know me. But we're both guests of this other company at this conference. And you're trying to go outside and fight. You're 50. Again, I stand by. I would wear you out. But I'm also I'm 30. I don't want to be in a fight. I'm too old for a fight. And so long story short, this guy just keeps getting my face because I'm disagreeing with him that Jokic is better than Shaq right now. He probably will end up being better than Shaq. But this guy wouldn't let me get these arguments out. Look, I hate to say
Shaq's gonna be the most dominant player of all time.
He is. But when
Jokic could be better, he will never be more dominant.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm good. Yeah, we're good there. The only player right now on my radar that could be more dominant than Shaq is Wemby, and that's pending this blood clot thing. Man, there's still obviously a lot more way to go. Anyways, this guy essentially he like is getting my face. Finally, somebody sees it. I'm still sitting down. Like I haven't really moved because at first I thought he was just like talking shit, and then I'm realizing, oh, wow, he's actually mad. So I haven't even gotten up to like defend myself yet. So he ends up getting escorted out, and the other person with him from his office is this girl. Shout out Libby, she was cool. But she just goes, "I'm so sorry. This is the 4th conference in a row that this has happened." I said, "What?" And I said, "Him getting in almost a fight, or Jokic starting the fight?" She goes, "4th time about a fight, 2nd time over Jokic." I said, "What in the fuck is this guy on?" I've never seen such a thing. Again, I've met this guy. I've known him for an hour and a half, and he is so mad about Jokic not being my second best player of all time. I was floored. I was floored. The last 2 conferences I was at, I almost shit my pants crossing the river, and a stranger almost fights me about Nikola Jokic.
Jesus. Maybe stop bringing him to conferences.
Maybe 5. She was like, "This is the 4th conference in a row." I was like, "Dude, this guy's got an issue."
Yeah, Jesus. I wonder what she's like. Well, it's kind of a funny story to bring back to the office. Oh, did you hear what he did this time?
The funniest part about this was Monday night. The conference was Tuesday as well. It was like Monday at noon to Tuesday at noon, basically.
Yeah.
And this team from Fort Collins just did not show up for Tuesday. He just never came. He never came back. He was escorted out of the bar area back to his room, and then I never saw him again.
Maybe 4 strikes that's what they called it. Maybe called it.
Yeah. Shit was crazy, dude.
Well, speaking of crazy shit, I've been doing my best to hold back and not Google this on my own. I need to hear about flamingos.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's been killing me for like 14 days now, and I don't have very much patience.
Yeah. So, I have this newsletter that I get every morning to my Gmail account. It's called 1440. I would highly recommend it. It's an entertaining newsletter. It's like 3 stories and then a bunch of like highlights and stuff. But at the bottom, they always have this etc. page, right? And it's there's a bunch of links to like it's interesting topics. I would liken it to like those old BuzzFeed like quizzes, like find out your Pokemon of evolution. And it's like something dumb. And it's like, okay, I'll click on that. So I see this article linked, and it's like, flamingos are weird. We all agree. But did you know how? Like how weird?
They do smell.
I was like, no, I didn't. So a couple of flamingo facts. Let me just pull up my notes here. So the one that we all know, flamingos are born white. And they're supposed to be, their natural color is white. But the reason they're pink is because the only thing they predominantly eat is shrimp. And they eat so much shrimp that it dyes their skin pink. So if you ever see like a new flamingo, it's white. It's not pink.
Maybe I eat too much shrimp. Maybe that's why I'm so pink. Jesus.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Irish. The second thing, and this is another one that we all know, flamingos' knees bend backwards, like towards their ass.
Wait. You're saying we all know these things? Like I'm supposed to know this?
Yeah, flamingos' knees bend backwards. So they bend towards their ass.
Jesus.
But here's where it starts to get really crazy, at least in my head. So you know how flamingos' beaks, they're kind of like this. So like, and they have no like teeth, obviously they're a bird. But because they predominantly only eat shrimp and like other shit in the water, it's hard to catch it when your beak is facing down the opposite way. So they've become the only birds that are actually also filter feeders, which blew me away. But what they do is they're like the second Explain It article is like the tiny tornadoes of flamingos. Like flamingos hunt with tornadoes. So in my head, I'm like, oh, flamingos must be like the greatest team players. They're just running around in like a hot tub, you know, when you make a whirlpool, like running around and just trapping all this fish. No, they're creating solo tornadoes. So what they're doing is they're taking their feet, like stomping them down, up and down in the ground in some weird way that creates like tiny little tornadoes in the water. So that might be a hurricane, I guess. I don't know. But a typhoon, whatever. They create this like tornado in the water with their feet. So they have 2 tornadoes going. And at the same time, they stick their head in and out of the water, like bob it in and bite, like twitch their mouths like this, and it creates a bigger tornado. So their feet tornado pushes food into their mouth tornado. And then like these shrimp and like other microorganisms can't leave. And it just opens its mouth and filter feeds the shrimp and then like everything else out. but it's all because it can't like really hunt well. So it's got to create these mini tornadoes to like trap their food so they can just like open their mouth and catch it. And I saw a video. I tried to play the video earlier to see if I could do it, but I won't be able to pull it up in my house, but maybe we'll link it in the notes or something. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's just these tiny tornadoes, and they're almost dancing while they're eating because they got to keep these currents going.
Yeah, that's a little bewildering for me.
I mean,
I just assumed they're like a fucking normal bird and just ate normal for shit.
No, dude, they also fly, which I feel like a bird that weird shouldn't be able to fly. It should be like in the ostrich, penguin kind of category. But they can't hunt normally, so they have to resort to creating natural disasters. Like think about a shrimp just like swimming along and it just gets caught in it looks like Twister.
Dude, shrimp get fucked by these like things.
Dude,
there's a bunch of shrimp down like Louisiana. Louisiana gets fucked by hurricanes too.
Yeah.
Shrimp just like to go bad places. Also, I did know this about flamingos. They live in like the hot springs area. They'll just sit in like boiling water.
Yeah, they don't really give a shit.
Questionable.
Yeah, dude, they're just the weirdest birds. The weirdest birds.
I'm also not a huge bird fan in general. There's just something about birds that just ain't quite right.
No.
I like birds of prey. Like if you're gonna go slaughter shit, kind of in on that.
I like watching the dive. Yeah, I like watching the dive.
Bald eagles, sweet. But like other birds that I don't like what they're doing with their eyes.
Dude, I got something that's gonna really freak you out.
Oh boy.
There's so on that same article they sent me this too, and it said clickbait, owls and towels.
Okay. All right.
There's only one part of like actual writing. I'm gonna share it. There's only one part of actual, huh?
You can give me Hedwig in a towel?
Yeah, basically. It says wildlife rehabilitators often wrap owls in fabric so they can be weighed, treated, and fed. If not, the owls will get in a flap, which is, I guess, basically an owl tantrum. They just start flapping crazily.
I'm gonna be honest, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I like that we got to work on that.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm gonna start using that.
All right. Yeah.
See, owls are kind of cute though, dude.
Sometimes.
Like, but I don't want to see that at nighttime. That's gonna be
no. But dude, yeah, this video they just add new owls and towels every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's bird talk right there.
Now I think we're gonna need a chaser for that. And in the chasing variety, we're gonna go with something just as fucking weird, but a little bit hotter. This Sydney Sweeney situation with the bath soap.
Yeah.
Where have we got to as a society that they're putting the hottest woman alive's bath water into a bar of soap and selling it? I mean,
so I've gone back and forth on this. I have a Dr. Squatch subscription actually. It's great soap. It's great soap. I get like 6 bars every 3 months, I think. They got good smells. I will not be purchasing any of this Sydney soap. There's a couple reasons why. One, I think that's weird in general to buy a soap because you think the girl is hot. I think it's significantly weirder to buy a soap because you think the girl's hot and you think there's some of her bath water in it. And I think it's even weirder or worse for society that was a legitimate business pitch that was approved by a board and is being paid for to produce and market.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing on it too. The original marketing campaign with her being the marketing face, pretty good. Like it's going to draw some attention to the brand.
Yeah.
Again, your point, that shouldn't be the main reason you're buying the soap. Let's just put that out there. However, it is good marketing. I got to give props there. But to actually put the bath water in there, and I need to know what kind of bag is being thrown at Sydney Sweeney to be doing this, because you hear about those crazy OnlyFans things, but this is like that on a mainstream scale here.
Well, so what I was starting to think is like, so 6 bars of soap is like $38 every 3 months. Is that soap more expensive? Is does that how much soap do they have to sell for her to make money if every 6 bars is $38? It doesn't feel like there's a lot of margins there. I don't know the soap game, but
so yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling this is more of like one of those things where they just threw an absolutely absurd bag at her, and then because I think only like a certain amount of this soap has her soap water in it or actual bath water, and then it just becomes a normal like scent or whatever.
Yeah,
I will not be using that scent ever just because I think it's weird.
Yeah.
As you said, I can't get behind that. It'd be a hysterical gag gift maybe to somebody. But with that being said, I think it was more like they're just investing a lot of money up front. They're going to lose money a little bit on paying Sydney Sweeney. It's a long-term marketing strategy. It's got to be.
Agree. But like, it's just, I just can't imagine seriously purchasing that and like not viewing yourself as a creep.
Correct. Yeah, there's some issues with that. The only consideration I had of getting involved was the resale value on it, but I just couldn't pursue it any further.
I would smell the soap to see what the scent is.
Correct. Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
But as far as using legal U.S. tender to purchase and then use said bar, no, thank you.
No. And I think that gives us a good transition to questionable behavior around women, or involving women. Stephon Diggs, my boy with the Patriots and this pink cocaine issue, which I'm hearing from some sources, I've never dabbled myself, is just essentially cocaine and ketamine around these 3 women who I'm assuming he proceeded to have a foursome with. But that's just my assumptions. They were on a boat during OTAs. Definitely some news coming out of New England there.
Yeah, right, I'm gonna rewatch this video to just refamiliarize myself. The one is, well, most of them are just not very cute.
No, kind of what I expected from the Stephon Diggs camp. However, isn't he with Cardi B?
Yeah, dude, this is wild. So, like, the first time I saw the video, I thought people were overreacting and saying, like, oh, that's just, like, the bag is pink. Like, that's definitely just drugs. The bag is pink. But after you really look at it, it is. So, PFT called it Tusi.
I don't know what that is, yeah.
I don't either. But I still, I think since this video came out that they are now, Cardi B and Stephon Diggs are now social media official, whichever one, I'm not sure, but
you also have to know it snaps back to that locker room video where all the Vikings players are like, who's the last person you want to date your sister? It's like Stephon. It's like, okay, all right, that's gonna reign true.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's rich with a bunch of money. He's in the off season. He hasn't taken a hit in months. He's probably feeling so good. Just got a new deal. Let the man use a little Tusi. What he does in between the off season is not my issue.
Here's all I'm going to say on it. I kind of want my wide receiver 1 acting like that a little bit.
Yeah.
Not any further, like we're getting to the edge, like much worse than that. I'm going to start having problems. If this becomes a thing, dude, he's just wrapping up his off season. However, if that's the biggest drama that comes out of Pat's camp this off season, I'm going to be okay with it.
Do we have any other videos of Stephon Diggs carrying substances before, or is this a Patriots issue? Because wasn't it Patrick Chung that got busted with like a mountain of cocaine when we were in middle school?
No, that was actually like 2 years ago, dude.
Patrick Chung? That can't be 2 years ago.
Maybe like 3 years ago.
But that was Patrick Chung though, right?
Yeah, Patrick.
They said he had a buckload of cocaine.
It was personal use.
Yeah. Personal use for an NFL player, yeah. Is it just a Patriots thing?
Well, yeah. I don't know if we consider Stephon Diggs Patriot yet.
He hasn't earned his Patriot pat yet.
Yeah, no. Yet. But other than that, good news out of Patriots camp. Will Campbell signed his deal. That's always good. You don't want any holdouts. And then actually great news that led from Stephon Diggs missing OTAs last week is Efton Chisholm, the undrafted rookie receiver, apparently getting some first-team reps. Looked real good yesterday in practice. Undrafted white guy out of Eastern Washington. That's checking a lot of Patriot boxes.
And
he's from Washington.
Also got Mr. Washington.
Cooper Kupp. Famously produced Cooper Kupp. So, I kind of liked it. Efton Chisholm, that's a great name. The third, that can go places.
Chisholm, that's a terrible name.
It's a terrible name until you make it big, dude.
That's true. Efton Chisholm.
I think I'm pronouncing it wrong too, because it doesn't sound as cool, but it sounded cool yesterday when I saw the
video. Yeah, no, good for Efton. And wasn't Max, what's his name? Max Crosby, isn't he also Eastern Washington? Or is he no, he's from the same school as Brogan Roback.
Yeah.
Maybe like Central Michigan or something. It's gonna kill me. This is good podcasting. Eastern Michigan. Yeah.
Gotta have a better pull on that. Yeah, I do want to dive into sports here. I think, I'm excited to talk, pre-finals. However, there's one thing I got to say. I saw a post today on social media of somebody at Disney World giving it a 6.2. And here's what I'm going to say about that. That's preposterous. That's way too low to be giving Disney World a 6.2. I get it. It's probably a little hot. But, dude, Disney World rocks. I don't want to ever be a Disney adult. I'm not going there. But going there and having a good time, you're just not enjoying the magic.
No.
And I won't get behind that.
No, 6.2 is crazy. That's crazy. It's disrespectful to Walter Disney. And go to Six Flags, pussy.
Yeah.
On
that note, I think I need sometime soon. Was supposed to do it this New Year's. I need to get down there and do the Drink Around the World event.
I've never done that either.
What?
I've never done that either.
We might have to plan a trip. However, there's not much else I could do in Orlando. That's kind of like a one-day thing, and then I'm out.
We would have to do Drink Around the World, stay at Palmer's house, go gar digging, and then leave immediately the next day.
Yeah, okay. That works. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. I forgot Oh, dude, me, you, and Palmer. That could be a great Drink Around the World.
That'd be trouble. Palmer, he keeps me out. He keeps when I saw him the other weekend, he was like, yeah, I just closed on an apartment. I was like, oh, really, dude? That's awesome. He goes, yeah, I got a 12-month lease. I was like, see, you just signed a lease. Close on anything. You just signed a lease and are moving in. But yeah, no, he keeps referring to it as I closed on my apartment. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Good for him. Good for him.
That's great.
All right, let's talk hockey.
Yeah, okay, because we got game 1 tonight. I did a little future betting, Evan. I did a little futures. My balance reset after the old Bookie Tuesday payments, and I made some futures. I want the Oilers to win. I want the Oilers to win the series.
Good.
However, I took the Panthers 3-way line for the game today, plus 165. I did take Leon Draisaitl to lead the series in goals, plus 280. And I looked heavily at the Panthers' future to win the series just because everyone is on the Oilers. And I still think the Panthers are really fucking good, but I will not bet on a hockey team in Florida. I won't do it.
So I got a few things on that. I like it. I can't bet the Panthers as well. I got to go Oilers. I think McDavid gets it done, gets his first title. It's the revenge series. They almost came back last year, being down 3 games to none. I think game 1 is going to say a lot about this series. And I say that because, the Stars showed some good glimpses of being a good hockey team, and the Oilers kind of just shut down. I didn't get the same from the Canes. I feel like the Canes just kind of sucked last series. So although I do think Florida's a really good hockey team, I'm not exactly sure how good they are yet. So I need to see how they match up in game 1. I think if the Oilers come in here and just kick the brakes off the Panthers, it's going to be a great
series. I mean, we've talked about it several times. We're not hockey guys. We like watching it. It's a fun sport. We don't know the ins and outs, but just kind of looking at it and having watched the games, the East overall, I feel like there was 2 Stanley Cup teams, and they played in the second round in the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. I don't think the Canes were ever a serious contender. I'm biased because I'm a Caps fan, so I thought they were a serious contender until the Canes showed very loudly they weren't. But looking at the East and how those series kind of went, and then looking at the West, either the Panthers are just so much better than everybody except for maybe the Leafs, or the West was just really competitive, which I know sounds weird because Edmonton won their last 2 series 4-1, but like the Stars people were talking about as potential finals candidates. The Avalanche people were talking as potential finals candidates. The Jets were the number 1 seed. Like, it just feels like the West had a lot more competition, and for the Oilers to do what they did in the West, I agree, I think is more impressive than what the Panthers would have done in the East, based off my limited hockey knowledge.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I don't know. I think just it's time for McDavid to get one. And like I said, I am rooting for Brad Marchand on the Panthers, but I can't let that sway me from what I want. So looking forward to that series. Finally give something to do tonight. I'm in, like I mentioned, El Paso, Texas. I already picked out beautiful dinner spot with a TV, getting myself I guess Mexican style like skirt steak for dinner. Like,
that'll be gas. It'll be absolutely gas.
That's
is it going to be fajitas or is it going to be like carne asada, do you think?
So I got the option where it's a skirt steak with like, I can do the fajita side, but like they also call this like the enchilado steak is the option. So I'm like, it's going to be a game time decision. I've kind of been craving fajitas, which are going to be skirt steak with the stuff.
The veggies and stuff here.
If it's their signature steak, it's got to be hay.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what kind of sauce they put on it. Because if you get like a carne asada with like what's the
you give me a chimichurri.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely like some green chilies. At least give me those on the side.
Yeah,
I'm sure I can. So that's probably the play.
Well, New Mexico's like the green chili capital of the U.S., isn't it? The
I'm in El Paso, but like, I mean, it's
right. You're in New Mexico.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. You were in New Mexico the other day. Right.
Had a green chili burger for lunch yesterday. Cash.
That sounds good. Back to the hockey thing. This game is a lot more important for the Oilers than it is the Panthers, I think. And that's probably a no duh. But after last year, going down 0-3, game 1, you got the revenge tour. You're playing really well. You are 12-4 in the playoffs so far. Feeling really good at home. I think you need to come out. I think if you come out flat tonight and lose, getting up for game 2 is going to be a lot tougher. You're going to be asking a lot more of the fans to keep y'all propped up for game 2, I feel like. But I unfortunately do think the Panthers are going to win this game today. I made it a little bit juicier, made it a regulation win as well to get the plus sign a little higher. But I'd be okay. I'm fine with losing that money if it means the Oilers can win the series.
One last comment on the hockey. They talk about it's a brutal trip for both teams involved. Having to go to Edmonton and Fort Lauderdale area. So that is a brutal flight. Both players, you got to find things to do. Hockey players playing some poker. So interesting how that series goes. I can't wait to watch that game tonight. So get the finals kicked off. And I know we got to talk about the basketball finals. However, I want to talk a couple things before that. And I know we're going to have a deep dive into that as well. But the first thing I need to hear from you about, all I know about it is I saw PSG won their first ever Champions League title and some absolute riots in the cities of Paris, which looked like they got a little out of hand, but probably just considering how big a moment that was. Tell me a little bit about that, Boone.
So it was pretty crazy. Inter Milan has been there a couple times. I think this is their second time now in the last 3 to 4 years because they lost the final to Man City a couple years ago when Man City got their first treble, which just means 3 trophies, the 3 big trophies. PSG, relatively speaking in soccer terms, is a new club. Like PSG was not a good club in Liga in France for most of their history. They were kind of one of the first teams to take Middle Eastern like oil money to prop up their team. I want to say they're Qatari owned, maybe Saudi. Maybe Saudi. And they have just been knocking on the door for a number of years. So they get this huge cash injection, which now they're at the top of the French league. They're not a historic French team. They're just now at the top because they have all this money. But they have been going for it. I mean, in the early 2010s to like mid 2010s, they've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic. They've got Cavani. They've got Thiago Silva. Yeah, Thiago Silva. I mean, they're a good team. and they keep getting close, and they keep getting close, and they keep getting beat by these bigger historic teams. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich beat them in the finals a couple years even before that. Then they get into their next era where it's like Neymar and Messi was there for a little bit. And they have Mbappe, obviously, who was a big name. And
I said it was at PSG
for like 2 years, maybe not even 2 years. But like, yeah, Neymar is like the big name. It was at the time the biggest transfer ever, if it's not still. But they're so close, they keep falling short. People are just like they can never win this. It's not their tournament. Last year, Mbappe, last year at PSG, they obviously don't win it again. I think they lost to Man City, maybe. And Mbappe leaves for Real Madrid. Real Madrid is the most historic Champions League winning team of all time. They've won like 14, I think. And they lose him to Real Madrid for nothing because he wants to win a trophy and he's always wanted to be a Madrid player. Fast forward to this year, PSG looks incredible, super, super young team. And the second that their superstar Mbappe leaves, they finally do it. They win their first ever Champions League. They have this guy, Desiree Doué, who everyone's heard of Lamine Yamal, obviously, and even the people that don't watch soccer, he's like a 19-year-old Barcelona prodigy. He helped win the Euros for Spain at 16 or 17. I don't even know how old he is. He's a teenager. But his greatest rival in the under-20 world is this guy, Desiree Doué, this French kid at PSG. Had a brace, which means 2 goals. PSG didn't just beat them. They
2 goals called?
Huh?
What's 2 goals called?
A brace.
A brace. Okay.
Yeah, 3 is a hat trick, obviously.
Yeah. Never heard that.
But the PSG doesn't just beat them, they annihilate them. The final score ends up being 5-0. It just wasn't a competitive game. This guy's name is hard to say, so I'll try to say it. Kvaratskhelia, he's this guy from Georgia, the country. He was on Napoli, which is a rival of Inter's in the Serie A. He joins PSG mid-season, scores a goal. Ousmane Dembele was on Barcelona, comes over to PSG. Absolute monster. He scored, I think, in the semifinals. He had a great tournament. But Inter Milan is Inter Milan's second time they've gotten here in the last 3 or 4 years. Second time they drop it. When they lost to Man City, it was actually a competitive game. So this one, I don't know which would have hurt worse. But dominant performance. PSG had an unbelievable tournament. Offensively, they were just miles ahead of everybody. They play 3 up front, and all 3 players are just getting after it, running off the wings, scoring goals. They're fast. They're athletic. And then they had the best goalie in the tournament in Gianluigi Donnarumma, or Gigi Donny, which is he's an Italian player, came from AC Milan, which is Inter's biggest rival as well. So this kid that came up through AC Milan ended up defeating them as well. There's a whole story. I hate Inter because I'm a Juve fan, but exceptional game, exceptional tournament from PSG. I mean, it was just phenomenal to watch. It was cool. I love high-scoring teams, and it was funny how they finally got over the line when they didn't have that Neymar and Mbappe, like generational type player. I mean, Doué could be that guy, but yeah, absolutely incredible tournament. They changed up the tournament format this past year. They call it I think it's the Swiss League style tournament. It's just basically it's not a bracket style as much anymore. You have to play every team, it's complicated. We'll get into it maybe before next year. I'll explain it before we start, but really fun tournament. Next year's gonna be awesome. We know the field of teams that are going to be in it. So before it starts next year, we'll do a deep dive, kind of pre look at the tournament, and I'll kind of walk through how it all looks a little bit more. But yeah, PSG finally did it. No stabbings from what I hear, which is good, different for Paris, but big celebrations. Shout out to them. They did a great job.
Nice. No, that's awesome. I mean, I definitely saw it coming in, kind of saw all the videos coming in. So I am interested to learn a little bit more about Champions League. You know, maybe as this year goes on, maybe this is the year I'll pick somebody, follow it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Have you guided me through the process?
So there's this one Swiss team called Brest, which is Brest, and it's not a Swiss team, it's a French team. And they were playing a prank. So the soccer commenters for Champions League, they're on Paramount. So kind of similar to Inside the NBA, which we'll get to here in a second. They had their like normal panel, and they were doing a fake recording where they're playing a prank on one of the old players, Micah something, from Man City. And they were like, hey, Micah, the producers have asked us to have you not speak in this next segment because we don't think you're mature enough to handle it. And he's like, okay, that's weird. Then they start talking about Brest, the team, and it's like they play 2 guys really pushing up top, and then a big rounded defense. It looks like it's going to be soft, but it's a lot more firm when you actually try to get into it. And the next guy's like, yeah, I'm really excited to. I think the way they bounce around is really entertaining to watch, and the way they play. Both when you get to play with them or when you get to watch them play, it's really fun because they just bounce around back and forth. And this guy is just freaking out. He's like, "What are we talking?" And finally, they break. Like they do behind the camera, basically the "you got punked" kind of thing. But this dude had no idea. He literally thought that he was not allowed to talk about this team. It was so fucking funny. I'll try to find the clip and I'll send it to you.
A big fan of that. Love me some good breast humor. Love me some good breast humor.
Yeah. But yeah, before next year, we'll find you a team to root for. I want to talk round ball, Ev. It's time to talk round ball.
All right. Let's hear it. I'll let you. Actually, before we jump in, I know you're going to talk. You probably want to talk a little bit here. I mean, let's talk about the Thunder just dismantling the T-Wolves in that series. That game was just the Thunder. Like, well, I'm sick of playing these games. It's over.
Yeah,
that's all that'd really be said about that. The Thunder looked terrifyingly good. If I'm a Pistons fan, that didn't feel good. I didn't like that one bit. However, the Pacers went in and Pacers handled business. Now, I'm not sure. I don't know if you have anything to touch on either of those games to wrap up those series.
So the Thunder are a problem. The Thunder are an absolute problem. I've got so many thoughts on both these games. I'll try to keep it to just because I guess last show we recorded was Tuesday, maybe. So since then we had 2 Pacers games and probably 2 Timberwolves Thunder games. I'll start with the Thunder and the Timberwolves because obviously I'll have more to say about the next one. The Thunder are good, man. The Thunder are good, and shout out to my homie that tried to punch me in Philly. Jokic might just be even better than we think to take that team. If you ask me who is better, the Thunder or the Timberwolves and the Nuggets from a team perspective, I'm probably going to tell you the Timberwolves. I think man for man, the Timberwolves are probably better overall at basketball. However, if I put them in a series again, I think I might take Jokic just because it's Jokic. Jokic is a beast. The Thunder put the Timberwolves to bed with the exception of like one cute game 3 performance where they, didn't really do much. And the Timberwolves blew them out. The way that the Nuggets were able to like even go to 7 games with the Thunder, maybe the Nuggets were a lot better than we even all realized.
Without a coach. With
the David Adelman or whatever his name is, he's the new coach now. He did get the job, but the Timberwolves had a great season. I really wish the Timberwolves could have won because I'd rather play the Timberwolves, not to say that they're not good. I did love the discourse of, is this the best trade of all time? The Knicks and the Timberwolves are both about to get to the NBA Finals, and they made the trade. I like that discourse is dead because that's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. The Thunder should win this series, the Finals, in 4 games. On paper.
Yeah, I don't think that's just going to happen, but
no,
yeah.
Me neither. And let me backtrack because I started talking too much about the next game. Bing bong, New York. Bing bong. You guys are such cowards. You're cowards. You're pussy cowards. Oh, poor us. They made fun of us at the game. Pat McAfee's mean. Knicks fans, huge bitches. They were so whiny about that series. Pacers fans were also whiny, for the record. I just happen to be one of them, so they're my people, so I won't be slandering them today. We were all whiny, but my whiny is my whiny.
Acknowledgement, so I don't have to get into it.
But outside of game 4, game 4 in New York, no. We'll get Game 5 in New York. Outside of Game 5 in New York, the Knicks kind of got dominated most of that series. I mean, Game 1, yes, the Knicks dominated the Pacers for the majority of that game until the fourth quarter. Game 3, the Pacers dominated the Knicks until the Knicks came back. So I'm calling those a wash. But if you don't want me to call them a wash, we dominated them in 4 games. They can only dominate us in 2. The only thing that they could do better than us was rebound. Mitchell Robinson was a problem down low. Every single time a missed shot was on and he was on the floor. I mean, he was giving us such fits that Carlisle resorted to Tony Bradley for stretches of games as the only physical guy that could rebound with Mitchell Robinson. It was a masterclass of rebounding from that guy. OG Anunoby had a great game for the Knicks as well. Josh Hart just decided that he was going to wildly miss every shot in Game 7 or Game 6, which I personally really appreciated him doing that for me. Cat is good. Cat had a good series. Cat is the biggest, softest baby shit of all time. Jalen Brunson, I like Jalen Brunson. I'll like him next year. He is a foul baiter in a way that like Shea doesn't even do. Shea foul baits to dive. Brunson just like cocks his head back like he's getting hit when he initiates the contact. Overall, the Knicks weren't in the same class as us. They weren't very good. They played dumb. Tibbs didn't get into his bench until late. Brunson, who is their best offensive player, couldn't be on the court in big moments because he was either in foul trouble or he can't play defense. I mean, the way they targeted him. Nimhard had him in absolute hell. Neesmith was nuclear in those first couple games. Benny Matz came off the bench and had like 20 points in 7 minutes one game. And then Halliburton obviously had his crazy game. Got all the shit talk out about him for the Game 5 performance. Came back, played great basketball. And then Siakam, I personally thought was the deserving conference finals MVP. Halliburton had some unbelievable games, including the trophy. Yeah, the Larry Bird Trophy. Halliburton had some incredible games, but Pascal Siakam had 30-point game. He had 3 30-point games. One was 39. He had over 20, I think, in the other 3 games, and he just consistently had a bigger defensive assignment. So I'm good with Pascal Siakam getting it. I like that the vote was close at 4-5. I think it was a split for the finals and the Larry Bird Trophy. But overall, just like a dominant performance. I couldn't have asked for much more. I was nervous about the Knicks because I think that they have some good players, obviously. But if you ask me in my heart, I never thought that we wouldn't get to the finals when we saw the Knicks, but I was very confident. I was happy to not play the Celtics. So thank you, Knicks, for that. Cavaliers didn't scare me one bit. We beat them 3 out of 4 in the regular season. Bucks don't scare me one bit. Giannis is the only guy on that team. Damian Lillard is washed and hurt. Get back soon. But, I mean, the Pacers they had a slightly easy run, but the only team they avoided was the Celtics, which is a big team. They dominated. They were the best team in the East. They're young. They're well-built. I think they're going to be the best team in the East next year. The Cavs will be back. The Knicks are kind of fucked right now with what they're going to do. They fired Tibbs, which we'll touch on. But, yeah.
Let's get into that. Obviously the Knicks lost the series. They got outplayed for sure. But that's one of the more shocking firings I've seen. I did not see that coming. It's one of the best seasons the Knicks have had in years. I don't know what happened, if something else was going on behind the scenes or what. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if you have another opinion on it. It makes zero sense to me. Definitely, maybe not the ending they wanted to the season, but not an outcome where he gets fired. No world. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It was 2 things. It was panic and pressure. They bought their finals tickets after they beat the Celtics. The fans, everybody. They were, we're going to fuck you up, Pacers. Halliburton ain't got you. They had written their finals tickets. They were on the web.
Yep.
And so to be that high, thinking just the disrespect that they showed us before even playing when we beat them last year, they were just really high, and this is going to be their best shot at the finals, realistically. For the next, whoever knows how, this was going to be their best shot. They blew it. They completely blew it. They blew Game 1 at home. If they didn't blow Game 1 at home, we would have played on Monday. But they just panicked, and then they got pressure from people on social media, people people in the regular media just talking about this is as far as he can go. I think it might have been Big Cat, or it could have even been Windy. That was like they got Tom Thibodeau, who's a defensive genius when it comes to basketball, and they built him a team of offensive players. So like you did him a disservice, you did your team a disservice. You traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, who's good, but 5 first-round picks. You got rid of some depth pieces to get Cat, who's good but can't play defense. You lost Ike Hart, which is why you got Cat. They're just the front office has mismanaged how the team's been built, and they panicked and fired Tibbs. They haven't been to an Eastern Conference final since 2000.
Yeah, exactly.
You fire the guy who gets you there when he's got a new team. You added Mikal Bridges and Cat this year, and you got to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Like, What are we doing? And like Tibbs will get another job. He's gonna be fine.
Absolutely. But especially as the Knicks. I mean, it's New York. I think you kind of said it's like it's in New York. There's high expectations, all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, looking forward, like you said, he's gonna have good things going for him next year. I do like the Pacers' outlook as well next year. Kind of like the Thunder. I think you guys are both in prime positions to get yourself right back here next year. The Celtics, who really knows with the Tatum injury and everything going on with contracting this offseason. Maybe they rebuild. Maybe they do. Maybe it's a thing where we're going to put everything into our bucket for next year and see what happens, or we're going to take kind of next year off, let the team get back together, get some building pieces in place. But, we still have hopefully 7 more games. I'd love to get all the basketball I can. I know you'd probably prefer it to be over quicker.
If it's over quicker, it's bad for us.
Yeah, well, hey, you'd like 4 win. You'd like a sweep of the Pacers to sweep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But before we move on from Tibbs, NBA Central has the odds for the next Knicks head coach. There's a lot of people on here.
Oh, okay.
So Johnny Bryant, who I don't know, he's got the shortest odds, plus 240. Kenny Atkinson, plus 400. I think he's with the Cavs, and I think he just won like Coach of the Year, didn't he? Yep. Like I don't know that he's leaving for the Knicks. James Borrego, the old Hornets coach, he's a good coach. I didn't think he should have been fired. Plus 950. The next couple are plus 950. Bud from Phoenix, Mike Budenholzer. Patrick Ewing, plus 950.
That'd be interesting.
Sam Cassell, your boy. And then you have
Sam Cassell, my boy.
He's a Celtics coach.
Yeah, but I don't know if I consider Sam Cassell my boy.
Okay, fair enough. He's a good coach. I wouldn't want to lose him. Then you have a couple forgettable ones: Frank Vogel, Chris Quinn, Jay Wright plus 1,400, Mark Jackson plus 1,400. This is the broadcaster tier: Mike D'Antoni plus 2,000, Jeff Van Gundy plus 2,500, and Stephen A. Smith plus 6,000.
Dude, if Stephen A. Smith becomes head coach of the Knicks, I'm taking a year off the NBA.
The funny thing is, the most qualified person on this list is Becky Hammond, the coach of the Las Vegas Aces, also plus 2,500. She'd probably be a good coach for the Knicks. She was a great assistant for the Spurs. She's won 2, maybe 3 ships for the Aces. But man, I would love to see Jay Wright come out of retirement.
Jay Wright's who I'd love to see. Jay Wright, I think I told you that yesterday. Jay Wright's who I want.
He trades Cat back for Just Dante. Gets the band back together.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Then the Timberwolves have Cat, Rudy, and Julius Randle just playing the biggest lineup of all time.
You get a complete 180 back to like early 2000s when you had to have that kind of roster to defend Shaq.
Yeah, right. You need to rotate your 7-footers, keep them fresh.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but yeah,
let's jump into what do the Pacers need to do to win this series.
So, like I said, on paper, the Thunder should win in 4 or 5. But that's what everyone said about the Cavs series. That's what everyone said about the Knicks series. This is going to be a fun matchup because this is the best offense in the playoffs against the best defense in the playoffs. These are also the best 2 teams from a record perspective since January 1st in the NBA. So since the new year hit, these have been the best 2 teams in the entire NBA from a wins and losses perspective. The thing that makes me nervous, everyone talks about 3 big things with the Pacers play style that they do really well. They run, they play a deep bench, and they're super athletic because they're young. The Thunder do all of those a little bit better. They play just as deep of a bench. I think we both average like 10 off the bench. They are just as young, if not slightly younger, and they are just really fucking good. They're fast, they're athletic, they run. So that makes me nervous. They defend really, really well.
They're also playing really consistently right now, too.
Yeah, they defend really, really well. But the one thing I think we have going for us is we don't have a ball dominant player per se. Like Halliburton is ball dominant, obviously, but he's ball dominant but pass first. So he needs the ball in his hands to play make, but he's not looking to shoot. If you look back at some of these other series, like they were just able to shut down John Moran on the Grizzlies. They were able to really box up Anthony Edwards on the Timberwolves because those are the primary ball score, like shot makers for those teams. So if you bottle them up, then the other players aren't going to get their shots as much. There's not really any bottling up Jokic because he's just the best player in the world. So, but Halliburton he's looking to facilitate offense, not necessarily to get his own shot all the time. So I do think if other players are making shots and all he has to do is facilitate, that's going to be a huge key for us. Sorry. That's going to be a huge key for us. So we'll see. I mean, Nesmith, Nembhard, Siakam obviously is going to have to really go strong to the basket, but we're going to need to have our shooters shooting. Nesmith, I don't need him to go 5 in a row like he did. Unless he wants to, that'd be sweet. But we need him to be good from 3. We need Nembhard to be good from 3. I would love to have some Miles Turner and Thomas Bryant threes like we had this last series. And then McConnell and Benedict Mathurin need to be really strong off the bench. We're going to have to win bench minutes because I think our bench is better than their bench. But their starting 5 is better than our starting 5. So where does it kind of play? Nesmith is going to have to guard SGA. Like, I don't think Nembhard's big enough. He was big enough for Brunson, obviously, because Brunson's shorter. But I want to say SGA is like 6'6". So you're going to have Nesmith guarding him. Nesmith is a jumper. He loves to jump at pump fakes. And this is the best foul baiter in the NBA right now. That makes me nervous. Miles Turner has to win on the glass against Chet Holmgren. He has to. Miles Turner's not a great rebounder. Ike Hart is going to be a problem for us, I think, because he's so physical. But with the physicality that Chet Holmgren shows, I need Miles Turner to be boxing him out and getting boards. Chet Holmgren is a great defender, but if you can just outbody him because he's 205 pounds, I mean, you got to win the boards against him, and then we got to win the bench minutes. That's the way. They have a great coach. We have a good coach. Their coach is a lot younger, never been in a finals. But the thing that's making me feel too confident. People keep talking about how the Thunder, this could be the worst Thunder team like of this run of their dynasty if it happens. There was another dynasty that was supposed to start really fast, and Rick Carlisle coach team beat them against all odds, and that was the LeBron Heat and the Dirk Mavericks. Rick Carlisle was the head of that team. He stopped the big bad Heat. Can he stop the big bad Thunder? We'll see. Siakam has got to play unbelievable in every game. On paper, they should beat us. If we can protect home court, all you got to do is steal one. You just got to protect home court and steal one game.
So, yeah, I agree with most of what you're saying.
Sorry.
I agree with most of what you're saying, and I think you guys need a lot of things to go your way, and not necessarily you guys also play well. I think the bigger thing is I think you guys are going to play pretty well in the series. I think you're going to get what you need from your players in the moments. But I think you need the Thunder to play poorly. Someone to have an off game, a lot of missed shots.
Yeah.
Someone to get in foul trouble in one game to help you swing the game that way. I don't unfortunately see that happening for you. I think you guys losing 6. I think they're going to go into game 5 with a chance to close out, and the moment's going to be too big to do it in front of their home fans. And then they're going to end up doing it in 6. That's my projection.
Against the Pacers or in Indy.
Yeah.
So I saw a stat floating around. The Pacers are I think the Pacers are undefeated in the playoffs when Caitlin Clark is in the building. And Caitlin Clark has no game. The Fever don't have a game for game 3 or 4, but she does have a game 6.
I didn't know that. So, hey, my prediction is lining up now.
Yeah. Listen, I never thought the Pacers would get to the NBA Finals this year. Absolutely didn't. We were talking about it earlier, and I think you were even making fun of me. It's like, doesn't matter, dude. If you win this game, you're going to lose to us in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I was worried about at the time.
Fuck me, man. I got too cocky. Don't get too cocky in sports. Yeah. Dumbest thing you can do.
But, I mean, nobody's given us much of a chance in the last two series, except for Pacers fans. So, like, look, I'm going to enjoy the ride. I'm not going to apologize. I think 9.5 is disrespectful, but I've also watched the OKC just blow teams out.
See, that's another thing too. That's related up. I just don't see like OKC gets up a lot on you guys. I don't think you guys have not even necessarily you'd have the firepower, but like you need someone to kind of step out of their comfort zone and really take a game over. But also to counter that too, Oklahoma City's defense is just so good that like it's really tough to come back when you're down a lot of them, and it just gets disheartening.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. It's the Knicks had a good defense, but the OKC's defense is different, and that's the toughest thing. They're not the best shooting team as a whole. So maybe if we can play well against Shea and keep him from like facilitating and make other people beat us, and they have a cold night, our offense is better overall than their offense. It's just their defense is so good. But we'll see. I'm gonna go Pacers in 7.
Okay, I respect the riding.
I have a future on the Pacers at plus 650. We're riding that till the cows come home. I mean, listen, it's my first basketball finals. Might be my first basketball championship because Gamecocks lost in the semis that Final Four year. So this is my first championship series for a round ball team, and I'm pretty excited.
Well, hey, I'm just excited, as we're about to get into dog days this summer. Enjoy it. Enjoy the finals. We'll enjoy the conference final as well. Glad you mentioned the Gamecocks here. I want to touch on the Gamecocks real quick before we jump into
Before you do that, I got one last stat.
Sure, yeah.
The Thunder are 29-1 against the Eastern Conference this year.
Oh, that's not fun to hear for you. Oh my God!
I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget to say that. But yeah, I think it's 29-1 against the Eastern Conference. I mean, they lost 5. They lost like 12 games this year or something like that. Yeah, they lost 14 games all year.
Damn, that's crazy.
All right, yeah, your Gamecock thing.
Hey, I just want to say as of this week, our recruiting for the 2026 class seems to be doing very well. I'm seeing a lot of predictions for some 4-star players flip us, and I'm not sure if you've been seeing anything. I've seen a lot on like Instagram, Twitter. The Lenoris hype is getting there. Lenoris Sellers is.
Does it make you nervous though?
Terrified, absolutely fucking terrified. Terrified and excited though, like because here's the thing: when you have this kind of hype around a player, it's going one of two ways. It's not a
yeah.
It's not an It's not a we had a good year. It's gonna be we're gonna be pissed or we're gonna be really happy. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't want to get into that too much. Let's save that for after the finals. We can start talking football. But we did just get potential twins, defensive linemen from North Carolina, both 4 stars, 2026 class.
Okay.
Imagine 2 twins on opposite sides of the ball, rushing the passer. That'd be pretty sweet.
It'd be like Asar and Ahmed Thompson. Yeah. Both playing the same position, basically.
Yeah. Now, okay, cool.
Dude,
I think.
Wait. Per Tankathon, look at the mock draft. Oh my God.
What do we got going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. Just
Tankathon NFL mock draft.
Wait, is it not sharing?
Oh, I didn't realize you were gonna pull it up. I was Googling it myself.
Yeah. What do you think?
Fuck you. Hey, listen, that'd be awesome for you. But here's the problem. If he has the year I want him to have, he's going 1.
Dude, look at how many quarterbacks they have here. 1,
oh, that's
2,
what I'm saying. You're the
4,
quarterback.
5 quarterbacks in the first round.
Let's hold off on football until we have to. We're running out of sports, so we're gonna need some content.
Yeah. You're right. Sorry, I saw Lenoris with the horseshoe, and I got excited.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you.
Yeah.
Hope he has a lucky horseshoe this year too.
Yeah.
So let's dive into our top 5 this week. And this came up for me when I was driving in California last week. Texted you about it. Just top 5 things common people do that annoy the shit out of you. Or like common things people do that annoy the shit out of you. So it isn't things that annoy you or pet peeves necessarily, but it's just like common things people do that annoy you. Do you want to start, or would you like to go? Do you want the turn?
I'm looking at my list right now, and I'm trying to debate. I think I want the turn. I think I want the 2-3 turn.
Okay, I think that's the right play here because I think there's a lot of really good ones. I don't know if there's a dominant one.
Yeah, let me just get my notes out here so I can. All right.
Okay, and I'm just gonna take it because it's the one that drove me crazy. It's people that drive slow in the left lane and just, are causing traffic for no reason. If you're going to be in the left lane, cool. If you want to drive slow in the left lane, I don't really care. Have some awareness and get out of my way. Or don't drive in the left lane. It's that simple. It happens way too often. And people have no awareness. And I hate traffic. It's my biggest pet peeve in the world. So anything you're doing to cause that, and this is the biggest culprit of it, just kills me.
Yep. Yeah, that's an obvious first one. This was a fun list to come up with. I just felt myself getting mad as I was writing things down.
Or like something would happen to me during the week that got me angry. And I was like,
so I'll go with my first one. And it's kind of in the same vein as yours, but it's different enough. I think it's counts. It's the people that you're at the airport, which we travel a good bit. We're frequenters at the airport. It's the people that are just wandering with no sense of urgency or direction, just like wobbling around the airport, looking at everything. They've usually got 3 of them in a row, walking slow as shit and taking up a ton of space. You can't pass them. I know you might not be in a rush because you might have got here 4 hours before your flight, but get to where you're going and get the fuck out of the way. I hate people with no sense of time at an airport.
So I'm gonna counter that a little bit here. I love that. I had it on my list, but I just put it down because the same thing happened to me as poor walking, just bad walking in public. Let's just loop that in. You're sitting there like, oh, the clouds, dude. You're in the middle of a fucking walkway. I got a flight to get to. Well, realistically, I got the lounge to get to drink. But get out of my way. I got places to be. Figure it out. Or just when they do it in public in general. But the airport is the worst idiots.
Yeah. And I will say, my dad is very guilty of this. My dad will just wander slowly through the airport because he gets there early. I'm like, just get to where you're freaking going.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, get somewhere early, but I still have to be somewhere. Like, I want to sit down and do nothing.
Yeah. This one, my next pick, I think is a good one because it doesn't piss a lot of people off. A lot of people actually prefer this, but it drives me up a wall. When somebody puts a meeting on my calendar because they just looked and saw it was available and didn't reach out to me first. You don't get an email that says, would you be open to meeting now or at this time? They just put it on your calendar. Fuck you. I'm canceled. I'm not going to that meeting unless you're my boss and I have to. But no, I'm not going to that meeting that you just put on my calendar.
Also, just because I don't have my calendars open, I might have other shit going on that I just don't put on my calendar. I don't put I'm not a huge calendar person. I put my important things on the calendar, and then I have other things I'm doing at certain times. It's just I don't need to calendarize it.
I don't need to block off. I don't want to have to block off my calendar to work on a project.
No,
I shouldn't have to. My calendar is for meetings. Meetings go on the calendar. But just because I have a free block there doesn't mean that I'm not doing something.
Exactly. And
who the fuck are you putting shit on my calendar that off? Ask me. Drives me up a wall.
You're good one. I didn't have on my list, but that's a good one. This is another one. People that clap when the plane lands.
Yeah, that's I hate that shit.
But what are you doing here, man? Come on. It's just annoying. I just it drives me nuts. planes are safe. Like, let's be realistic. There's just no need to be celebrating that.
I agree.
And then here's another one. When people are rude to like service industry people.
Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Just awful. Like, it just makes you look like a bad person. Like, I just don't. I just can't handle that one.
Yeah, I agree. Those people suck.
And then I'm never gonna want to like go anywhere with you. It's just like secondhand embarrassment. Like, listen, if there's something wrong with your food, I get it. Like, you need to say something. If it's really bad, like if you give me the asparagus instead of the broccoli, just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, if you give me raw steak, okay, all right, I get it.
Or like well done, then yeah, I'm not.
Right.
But if it's like medium and I got medium rare, and it's not like a Wagyu, then like
unless I'm at like even if I'm at a really nice, like if I'm at a really really nice steakhouse, one, that would never happen.
Yeah.
Two, if it does, and you want to say something, I'm not gonna freak out. I still wouldn't, but yeah, unless it's like too past what you were asking for, don't freak out.
I agree with that. Okay, this one is my old man take, but it pisses me off. And tell me if this doesn't count, because this might be something that just pisses everybody off, but people that create wake in a no wake zone. Like, if I'm on the dock at the lake and I'm sitting enjoying and floating, and you come like even just a little bit, you don't have to be going that fast to be going too fast for the cove that you're in or the no wake zone you're in. I get so angry. Kristen makes fun of me. She's like, "Your old man is coming out." But I'll literally sit there and like shake my fist at the sky and be like, "No!" Like, I hate those people.
So here's my thing on that. I hate it if you like purposely do it. People accidentally go in too hot all the time. Like that happens.
That's not what I'm talking about. If you come in too hot, like as long as you are slowing down, but you entered while you're still going fast, don't care. I'm typically talking about people that are going out and they've already started going. They're not even close to the buoy yet.
Oh, yeah. No, there's just no need. Doesn't drive me too crazy, but I mean, fucked up still.
Drives me up a fucking wall. And then this is my next pick. We have a college buddy who is horrible about this. If you are at your favorite band or artist, if you're at their show, take your videos. I don't need to watch the whole concert on your Instagram story, and I certainly don't need you to send it to me directly on Snapchat. You get one. I'll give you, like, the screen can only go through two times. You'll get one transition. I don't need to hear any more than 15 seconds of whatever song you chose to send me, but don't continuously send me more and more videos of the concert you're at. And if we're in a group chat and I open it up and I see 9 Snapchat videos, especially from this one specific person, dude, just enjoy the concert. Enjoy the concert. If I wanted to see the concert, I would have gone to the concert. So don't send me that shit. I don't care. Why don't you just enjoy the concert instead of looking through your phone?
I love that one. I hate it when listen, you get one or two, you get a video, maybe 2. I'm gonna allow 2 posts from any given concert or any given sporting. Any event, you get 2 posts, unless you get a unicorn post where it's like, dude, you can have a 3rd, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, otherwise, I don't want to get my phone
comes out from the sky and starts ripping the piano. Send that to me. I want to see that.
Yeah. But like, if I think girls tend to be more guilty of this than guys too. If I'm at a concert, maybe this being me being older, I try to limit my phone access. Really, I'm on my phone too much to begin with.
Yeah.
So any chance I have to be like in person and can enjoy something with my buddies, I want my phone on as little as possible. I want to check Twitter, get updates on scores from other shit, and just make bets. Otherwise, I want to talk to my buddies. I don't really care about my phone.
Yeah.
I'm not answering.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be on my phone. I'll typically record like 1 or 2 songs. Those are typically just for me. But yeah, my phone's just not coming out at the concert. You're like shoulder to shoulder with people, and you're doing this. You're gonna get bumped. Your phone falls, now you can't reach it, or it's cracked. Like,
or you see all the pictures now, like watching live sports. The whole crowd just has their phone up. Dude, enjoy the fucking moment, man.
Yeah,
the memory's better in my opinion. I mean, cool if I go back and watch, but like, I'd rather be there for the memory. Someone else have a picture for me to look at. Someone else's picture is gonna be better than mine. I don't need the picture from my phone.
There's somebody that is being paid by the team to take a picture.
Exactly.
I'll just download from Twitter and pretend it's my picture.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're up. Last 2.
Okay. I have 3 that I love. All right. First one's talking on speakerphone in a public area. Like if you have 30 seconds of speakerphone. After that, maybe a minute. After that, get off speakerphone. Or even talking on the phone. Like if I'm sitting in a bar, I'll even go this then. If you're sitting at the bar, just talking on your phone, step outside. I'm at the bar. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And the worst is the gym. The gym drives me up a fucking wall.
Yeah.
Just poor phone etiquette. Just come on.
I had it on my list. I was really hoping to get that at my last pick there.
And then this one, I think, is kind of the way society in America's gone recently. It's not so much not standing for it anymore. It's when people don't take off their hats for the national anthem.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy, dude. Like, I was balding real bad. I took my hat off. I don't care. And I stood for the national. Like, everyone stands now. Like, we're not in that phase anymore. But take your hat off still. Like, show a little bit of respect. And I hate it when people don't do that.
Damn, that wasn't on my list. That's a great one. That's a great one.
That's the last one. And I have one other one.
I'll
save my honorable mention. I'll save my honorable mention. It's really tough to leave there. But I had to leave. Just have Memorial Day. July 4th coming up. I felt like that was the one I had to put on there.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I wish I had thought of that. I might have taken that sooner. So the one I was going to go with at 5 was people that listen to their music in public places on speakers and not in their headphones. But I think that's too close to what you had for 4. So I'll not say it. But like, just to talk about it a little bit more, we have the light rail in Charlotte. It's like a little train track pathway. And there's this one dude I see like every other day, and he's riding his bike with the little JBL clip hooked up to his backpack, playing his music loud. And it's like, dude, everyone else is just being selfish to everybody. Just put on headphones. You have
and your music taste is probably bad.
No, it's not good.
People did that in college all the time too. It drove me nuts.
So the one I'm going to go with, I have 2 left. I think one is better, but it's both pisses me off and sometimes I find it funny. It's the dude at the gym who gives unsolicited advice to people, and then the advice he gives is factually incorrect. Like, there's this guy at the Dowd YMCA here in Charlotte, and he saw this person bench pressing, and he goes, no, you need to like bring your shoulders up to bench press so you get more force out of your chest like this. And it's factually incorrect, wildly unsafe. You're going to kill your shoulders. And I'm just sitting there watching. Fortunately, the guy that he said it was unknowingly. He's a skinnier guy, but he was a trainer at the Y. So he said it to like the worst possible guy. And the guy proceeded to like go off on him for giving unsolicited wrong advice, which was hilarious. But then sometimes I do think it's funny when like you're clearly just giving this unsolicited advice to hit on a girl and you actually don't know. I find that funny because it never works out. But the person that gives unsolicited gym advice and everything he's telling you is wrong, that guy kills me, because there's so many new people every day that go to the gym trying to get started that are just going to take the advice of a stranger because they feel like they don't know what they're doing. And you're going to get those people hurt at some point because they're lifting wildly wrong, way too like heavy for them, no form. And it's never somebody who is in good shape giving this advice. It's just somebody who's like popcorn muscled.
And also, even sometimes when you're those people that give advice, you don't know exactly what that person's trying to do either. Like they might not be doing what you're talking them to do. Yeah. Like you could just be unknowledgeable.
Yeah, exactly.
And you really don't know where they're coming from. There is a way to approach them.
Don't talk to them.
Yeah. There is a way to approach something. Like if you see someone doing something that's going to get somebody hurt.
Yes.
Like, hey, dude, maybe tone it down. That's okay. Like, but that's not even really advice. That's just like being a good person.
Yeah. It's the caveat with you're wrong. You're giving wrong advice.
Yes.
I had one honorable mention we didn't cover, but I'll let you go first. It sounds like you had a good one.
Poor hygiene in public. Just dude, if you know you have BO, like, dude, sometimes I get stinky. It's like I'll go reapply deodorant, and I'm always the person that, especially if I'm traveling, I'm gonna make sure I smell good, or am I clean? My fingernails are clipped. I don't have weird shit going on. Like whatever it's gonna be, don't have body odor when you're smelling trapped with places. And then one more kind of on that related: people that eat smelly food on an airplane.
Yeah.
Like, don't bring egg salad in a fucking airplane.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my good one. We have quite a few friends we know that could use a little bit more deodorant.
Yeah. I'm like very anal about how I smell because of some of the people that we know.
Right. Like, if I ever smell bad, somebody fucking tell me. Like, let me know. Right. It's almost like a subconscious thing. Let me know. Like, just cool. Hey, dude, put on some more deodorant. Like, dude, it happens. Cool. Just let me know.
The only one I still had was not using a turn signal. I hate when people don't put on their turn signal.
Okay.
Unless you're in a neighborhood. If you're in a neighborhood, not as worried about it.
Okay, so like, here's the thing. I don't use my turn signal unless I'm taking, like, if I'm going in front of some, okay, you're doing more so like if I'm taking a turn at a light or turning somewhere clearly with traffic and congestion, put my turn signal. If I'm on the highway, I might not do it to switch lanes as long as I'm not like cutting at somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you should use your turn signal.
Yeah, no, well, I'm from Massachusetts, we don't use a turn signal. But however, on that note, so you'll hate this. I don't do it if there's nobody on the highway and no one's gonna see me do it. The car I had wouldn't let me. Like, it kind of makes it hard, so you can't just cross lanes because you're moving that way, which probably why I should use turn signal. But if I'm taking a turn, a left-hand turn, a right-hand turn, I'm going. And on that too, here's a good another one. You're driving and it's a left-hand turn. People that don't creep into the intersection, you stay behind the line. It's like, dude, we're never gonna go. We're never gonna go.
Stick your ass out. You gotta stick your ass out.
Well, hey, I know we're excited to talk about some unforgotten siblings or brothers in pro sports, but I think let's table that one, get back to it maybe next week.
I agree.
And I think that's gonna be a good, instead of a top 5, more of a hypothetical question. Like, just talk about which scenario is the worst. So everybody, you have that to look forward to. But other than that, I'm all set. I'm wrapped up. I don't have anything else to touch on. Do you have anything else for kind of jump into the evening and go enjoy first game of the Stanley Cup Finals?
I got one more thing.
All right, let's hear it.
I would save it if it's not imminent, but
okay.
Have you heard of this Saharan dust storm?
Nope.
So, let's see. It is supposed to hit Miami tonight. No, it should have already hit Miami. There is a dust storm from the Sahara Desert that somehow got pushed into the atmosphere and is 2,000 miles long. That is currently on its way to coating the southeastern United States. Now, these I'm trying to see. Oh, here's a picture of what it could look like. Can you? Oh, you're not seeing this now.
Close that ad in the corner.
Gotcha. Let's see if there's a picture on here because it was pretty fucking wild. No, this one doesn't have a picture. Hold on. Here's my mouse. Let me share with you the other picture. So these dust storms, right? They that's what it could look like.
Oh, Jesus.
in Miami and in southern Florida. But so essentially I was doing a little reading on this. These are pretty common occurrences. There's been some that like have taken over like wild swatches of land, but this whole thing right here is this dust storm. It's bigger than the continental United States, like longer. And they decrease visibility, obviously super bad. They're apparently like fairly poisonous and toxic like it's not good for you to breathe in. However, as we are getting onto hurricane season, they actually stop hurricanes from forming, these dust storms to go across the ocean. Don't know how they do that, but all the meteorologists I've been reading about they're like, yeah, the air quality is going to be shit, but we're not going to have hurricanes for a little bit because it's going to stop hurricanes. So yeah, this storm is, I think it's supposed to hit New Orleans Friday, but
here's the thing on that.
You might see some of this.
Yeah, I'm going to Kansas City this weekend, so I don't know if it's going to make it that far north. Yeah. But one, any natural disaster that doesn't kill you, it's an excuse to drink. However, that's a little difficult because like can't really go outside. It sounds like. Yeah, I mean, everyone keeps telling me that they make beautiful sunsets because the dust particles reflect off the sun. That'd be pretty cool. Over the water in Florida, it's supposed to be really pretty sunsets. But I wonder if my parents might get hit pretty hard. Actually, no, wait, my parents are on the West Coast. Never mind. But
yeah, it'll probably be fun.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. I didn't know those existed. Them wiping out hurricanes. I want to dive into that a little bit more. Maybe I'll look into that over the week. And one last thing I got to touch on, meteorologists. What a fucking joke of a job. That's like me gambling. Their job is to be worse at me than gambling.
So I learned this year that if it says 55% chance of rain,
it's in one spot.
It's 55% of the area of that like zip code or whatever is getting rain.
I learned that last year. Like so like you're not far off. It's just insane.
Yeah.
And then the weather app, when it tells you it's gonna be rainy, if it's gonna be rainy for 10 minutes on a day, it's like, oh, the whole day is gonna be rainy. It's like, dude.
That should if it's only gonna rain for even an hour, if it's just gonna rain for an hour, that shouldn't show on the weather forecast.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna take time to dive into that.
No, I'm just gonna be like, oh, it's too rainy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. Help me out.
Yeah.
I got other things to do.
So
that great way to end there.
Yeah, big games tonight. Hopefully the people in the Southeast are no hurricanes. No hurricanes afoot, so that's good.
Yeah, they'd probably rather have dust than water.
Yeah, they got enough of those hurricanes. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Hopefully I'll be coming to you next week with a couple wins in my back pocket. We got the adult league soccer semis, and if we win, the finals tonight. So we got to go defend our belts here in about 45 minutes.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Good luck. Best of luck.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, it was a pleasure as always. We'll see you back next week. But yeah, thank you.
Ciao.